Happy Saturday. How you doing? How was your Friday yesterday? Hope it went well. You know, depending where you live in the country, West Coast, you hear people, oh, if you can drive in Los Angeles, you can drive anywhere. Other parts, oh, if you can drive in Chicago, here in the East Coast, especially New England, oh, if you can drive in Boston, you can drive anywhere. I guess the same can be said for any major city in the country. It can be a real challenge. and the only good thing about Boston is going to Logan Airport versus going right into the heart and the meat of Boston is that right when you get to where what's known as the Big Dig, when everything was a fucking mess for many years. And there's still construction going on to this day. And arteries are merging and converging. It's like a rat's nest of converging roads and branching off into different parts. Tobin Bridge, Charlestown Bridge. There's a couple of tunnels, Cowan and Sumner Tunnel. And if you ever looked at a map of Boston, Logan Airport's like on a peninsula, far away from the main heart of the city. And there's a couple tunnels, get there and get back, Sumner Tunnel and the Cowan Tunnel. And once you get to where that Big Dig is, you only get a little ways into it, you hit the tunnel, and it's a nice run out there. And plus, I went through there at 4:30 in the morning, so there wasn't a whole lot of traffic. After like 5 a.m., 5:30, it's a fucking mess. And I've gone through there later in the morning, in the afternoon. The tunnel is fucking backed up. We sat in that tunnel one time for 45 minutes, almost an hour. Waiting for things to clear out up ahead. And it can be scary for some people. You know, when you've been through it many times like I have, both of the tunnels, there and back, you kind of know what to expect. Someone that's never been to that, if you're claustrophobic, man, you really don't want to go through those tunnels, especially if you get caught in a traffic jam and accidents are happening there. You know, they can't even get a fucking wrecker in to clear out the fucking accidents. It's 2 lanes. And these tunnels go under Boston Harbor and under the Charles River, under the seabed. You know, you don't have to worry about getting hit by a passing ship, and they got cargo freighters, and it's under the seabed itself. And it's lit up, but it's very dimly lit. When you get in, they tell you put your headlights on. You got to put your headlights on just so you can see well. It's kind of like driving a little after dusk, where you got to really, really look to see. You know, you see brake lights come on, you put your lights on, going through these tunnels. And it's all tiled walls. It's like 20, the ceiling on it's like 20 foot. And up above the pavement, there are walkways with railings with access ports where workers go in there. They have pumps going in there. It leaks water. You're going through and you'll see water dripping down the sides. You know, it can be scary for some people. Holy shit, the fucking ocean's coming in on us. We're all going to drown in here, you know. If you're claustrophobic, forget it. And but fortunately, going through there, now coming back, once he arrived, he had to go through customs. He was coming back from Aruba, so he had to go through customs. You know, it took a while, baggage check and all that. So it took a while. Now coming back, oh yeah, traffic was real slow. Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. So now you get a lot of passengers from all these flights coming back, and now they're heading back to Boston and other points, north and south. Anyway, it went well. So, I saw Java's video last night. I want to say that I was wrong. You know, I was wrong. According to his video, I was wrong. No shame in being wrong. Ain't the first time in my life, won't be the last time in my life. Recently, I talked about acceptance in life. The easier you accept things, the better things go for you. You don't get pissed off and angry. You know, you move on. People with a big ego and narcissism, and they say people with a big ego, big narcissism, they bruise the easiest. They're the most fragile. I can say I was wrong. Someone else might be a little different. God damn it, motherfucker, I wanted to see that asshole homeless. God damn it, and now I look like a fucking idiot saying all this time that, you know, was it foreclosure? God damn it, and they're all fucking pissed off. Well, I'm not pissed off. I was wrong, plain and simple. According to that video that he put up. And it's going to be closing on the 15th. So he hasn't sold his house as of yet. Got a closing date. Good, that's great. I'm happy for you. It's taken a while, but it's going to happen on the 15th. That's what, another week away? And then once There was one thing I don't understand though. I'm not being an asshole. I'm just questioning something that, Jobby, you told me that things are different in New Jersey when I talked about how I know from experience through a licensed real estate agent for many years, my ex-wife's nephew. When it comes to foreclosures, home sales, that he's handled both of these cases. Buyer comes along, put a binder, applies for a mortgage. It usually takes a couple of days to get a pre-approval, and then they got to go through the procedure of a home inspection, title search, and a lot of things need to be done before they set up a closing date. And that usually happens within 10 to 14 days, and then everything's set. The house is vacant, person moves right in. The person's still there. Now they have to pay the buyer's mortgage until they leave. That happened to one of my brother-in-laws. Bought a house, the lady didn't want to fucking leave. She was there for 4 months, and she had to pay his mortgage and any tax rate and insurance associated with that house. She was living there. She was responsible for all the expenses during that time. He was like, I don't care about her paying all the bills for it. I want to fucking move in. I want her out. He had to get a lawyer and take her to court to finally get her out. It took a while. But in most cases, that usually doesn't happen. And once that happens, naturally, your bank, their mortgage is going to be paid off. You're free and clear of that. The overflow goes to the owner that sold it. That's what happens. With bank foreclosures, it's different now. Usually banks, very rarely do they really, break even. If they make a little extra money, yeah, even that will still go to the person that got foreclosed on. But then there will be fees attached to it. Now the bank will attach all their lawyers' fees, all their paperwork fees for months and months going to the pre-foreclosure, to the foreclosure, and that's going to take a big chunk out of what's left over of the actual auction sale price, you know what I mean? And a lot of times there's a deficit and that person can still be on the hook for it. And they'll go after you for the balance that's still owed. They'll sue the person. But you said that once you get all that money, now you got your cash to go buy that trailer home in a trailer park. The one thing I don't understand is when you said, well, as soon as you get your money, I assume you've already talked to the ownership, management of that trailer park. Explain the situation. You're going to be going there and buying it cash. If they know this, I don't understand why they're going to have you fill out an application and then you got to wait 48 hours before they'll let you know if you can buy it and then move in. That I don't understand. Usually with applications, it pertains to when you're borrowing money, you got to apply for a loan for a car or personal loan. You got to apply for a mortgage on a house. You're applying for a credit card. You're applying for a store charge card, JCPenney, Walmart, whatever. Usually it's when you're borrowing money, you got to file an application because they're going to run a credit check on you and things like that. When you're going to buy something cash, I don't understand why an application is necessary. So if you walk into a car dealership, my youngest daughter's in the car business. She's an office manager for a big Ford dealership and an auto group. They have 2 Ford dealerships, one in New Bedford, one in Fall River, a Kia and a Hyundai dealership, one in Swansea and one in Somerset. And they do their own financing there at times. People want to buy a car and want to finance it. Okay, you got to fill out an application. They run their credit check. They know within 48 hours if their credit's approved, and then they get the money. I understand all this. It's common practice, common procedure in anything where you need money coming to you and you need approval on it. When you're buying something for cash, why do you need to be approved on anything? Walk into a car dealership. I like that car. How much is it? $30,000? I got the $30,000 cash right here. Just transfer it from my bank account. Okay, so I can do all the paperwork and you buy the car. You don't have to wait 48 hours for them to tell you if you can buy the car or not. I'm not criticizing Jabba. I'm just saying it just doesn't. But then again, you say they have different rules in New Jersey for how things are done. If this makes sense to any of you, let me know. Maybe I'm wrong once again. That's how it is in New Jersey. Even though you're buying something for cash, you need to fill out an application for approval before you can purchase it. Has anyone explained to you what it's like in a trailer park? There are guidelines and rules that need to be followed, same as in a condo complex, a gated community, HOAs. You know, oh yeah, you own the condo, but you can't do whatever the fuck you want. Making noise, disturbing your neighbors, making a mess outside on the property surrounding your particular condo, trash, overflowing, rat show. You know, can't do that. You know, gated communities, the same thing. Trailer parks are the same way. There are guidelines you need to abide by. You need to understand that what you're buying is that trailer home on that concrete slab, and that's it. You do not own an inch of surrounding soil, grass, once you step outside of that. That's the property of the trailer park community, complex, the ownership, the association, corporation, whatever owns that big piece of land that all these trailer homes are on. Okay. There are rules and guidelines. You won't have as much freedom as you had at your home. You are going to need to do proper maintenance and upkeep on that property, even though you don't own that grass and dirt that may be on that little patch around you before the next trailer park home is. Every person is responsible for cleanliness and upkeep. They get checked on. I don't know if they call it a superintendent, but there are people that check periodically. They'll drive through like in any other. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. I had to step away. Like any other gated community condo complex, they keep an eye on things, make sure that people are following the rules and the guidelines that they signed on for when they purchased that condo, they purchased that property in the gated community. You don't have as much freedom. You can't do whatever you want. When it comes to cleanliness, you can't be bringing things, oh, I saw this, you know, quite sure they'll let you have a barbecue, you know, out there, things like that. But you just go, oh, I saw it accumulating things. And I'm being nice, I'm saying accumulating things. That just sit there, and then you accumulate more and more and more. You won't be allowed to do that. You'll receive fines. You'll get a notice on your door. Violation. Improper upkeep of the property, and you'll have to pay a fine violation. Making noise, disturbing your neighbors. You said it's an older living senior community. People like that usually like their peace and quiet. That's why they're there. They're older now. They want a little serenity in their life. They don't want a guy that's going to be out there at 2, 3 in the morning because you can't sleep, putting the lights on, trying to start a car, and, you know, being a nuisance. They won't allow that. They'll make a phone call. Somebody will be there giving you a violation. If you're home, they're going to speak to you in person and hand you a violation. They're going to pay a fine. There are many ways you can violate those terms and conditions. When you accumulate so many, you can be evicted. And also, you have to pay rent there. And it's not cheap. It runs into the hundreds of dollars every month. You have to pay rent. Oh yeah, it's not like, oh, I bought that trailer home. I just move in. All I do is pay my gas, electric, utility, whatever it is itself. Oh, no. The purpose of that trailer park is to bring in rental income to the owners of it. That's the purpose of it. It's not to let people live there for free, just sell trailers and live there for free. Oh, no. Has anyone explained all these things to you? This is called helpful advice. So you can be aware of some things. You may want to ask some questions and find out all this information for yourself, so you know what you'll be getting into. So there are no surprises down the road. You know, the neighbor makes a call to the management. Hey, the guy in the trailer next to me, man, he's waking me up at 2, 3 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 11 at night. He's got trash overflowing all over the yard. Trash collection days come, he doesn't put the trash out. Now it's built up, it's overflowing on the ground. We're going to get rats and raccoons and shit. They're not going to allow that. You know, his yard, he keeps bringing, you know, he's got junk all over the yard, bicycles and this, and that's not going to happen. They won't allow it. And if you accumulate so many violations, they will evict you. Non-payment of rent, they will evict you. And what they will do is they will evict you. They won't take possession of your trailer park home. They will evict you. And until you make good on these payments, you're going to continue to keep, even though you're no longer living there, because they've evicted you. Every month that goes by, they're going to keep tacking on those rents. And now the back rent you owe is going to keep accumulating until it gets to a point where now they put a lien on the trailer home. And now they can take it to court and they can file for a type of foreclosure where you either pay them or they will now seize that trailer and it becomes theirs. Are you aware of all these things? This is helpful advice, Java. Okay? In case you had a perception in your mind, I'm going to buy that cash, I just move in and great, I got no expenses. Spend my utilities for whatever you have for electric, heat, or whether it's gas or whatever. You know, and your cell phone bill. Keep making your car payments on your Jeep, insurance. The one thing you don't have to have is insurance on that because you're paying for it cash. Now, what are trailer parks? What are trailers there? These people don't own them. They're owned by the trailer park. People just rent them. So now they're paying rent on not just that slab it's on. They're paying rent on the trailer itself. So they didn't purchase it. They don't own it. Some will buy them with a mortgage from the trailer park. When it's paid off, now it's theirs. They can do it, you know. Once they do what they want, but now they have the option of not needing to carry homeowners insurance, trailer home insurance. As long as there's money owed on that to a bank or to the trailer park, on the trailer home itself, you got to carry insurance like you would on a home. You know, you own it, it's paid for. Now you have the option of not having to pay insurance. But keep in mind, if something happens, a fire breaks out or something, now you got a problem. You know, keep in mind that you won't have the freedom that you've had at your house to keep your property in whatever condition you wanted it to be in. You won't be allowed to do that. It's going to need to be kept in the condition that they want it to be kept in. If you don't, you got a problem. It's going to be a different way of life, Java. A whole different way of life. You will have to follow rules and regulations. If you shouldn't incur any violations and someone shows up with a violation and knocks on your door, you can't go out there and get belligerent and start arguing with them. Tell them, well, I own this, you can't tell me what to do. You can have a problem there. I'm just trying to make you aware of something that maybe no one explained this to you. Okay? So, I'm happy for you. I hope everything goes smooth. I hope nothing happens between now and the 15th that, you know, causes a problem with the sale. I hope nothing happens with your application you put in that something might happen and it doesn't get approved and you don't have your new trailer. I hope nothing happens, everything goes smooth and you can move in there and start all fresh again. You know. And I was wrong. As of now, I'm wrong. You know. And I guess that's about it. So, everyone, including you too, Java, hope you have a great day. Hope you have fun. And hope you stay safe.